The Underground World News Live. Back for another one. And shout outs to everybody out there checking in across the board. I seen Taiwan checking in, Japan, Wisconsin, PA, Indiana, VA, Arizona. Just everybody across the board. Thank you for the feedback. Steve, David, good to see Gabe. Callie's in the house. North and South. Much love to everybody out there. Thank you for all the feedback. MC. What's 5 by T? So is the mic good? Are we good? Audio's good. Okay. Melbourne, Australia, Alaska, Arkansas, Kansas, Oklahoma City, Crown Jewels checking in from the UK, Florida, in the house, Long Island, Naples. Got something going now, Detroit. Everybody, man. Tallahassee, Rhode Island, much love. Minx. Smoky Blazer. All right, good to see everybody. Welcome to another one. We got plenty to cover tonight. Thank you, Kev Barr. In the house. It's Tennessee, Boston. I see all you guys out there. Lots to cover tonight. Going to start off with what some of you guys said in the chat while we were running. We got some events going on in the heavens tonight. You could step outside right now and witness one of these events. It's actually happening. Let's jump over to it real quick. Let's jump over at the map. Atlanta right now. So if you're in the eastern part of the United States, anywhere in that time frame, anywhere in the region of Atlanta, here on the map, 9:06, which is right now. Local time. These are all local time. What's gonna happen here is Mars is gonna disappear behind the moon and then show back up. It's called the occulting, because that means to cover. It's what occult means. So Boston, you could see right there on the map all the different times, all the main cities, whatever city you're near. You might want to jot down that time frame. You might be able to check out this event. So you can see right there, the moon's going to go past Mars. And yeah. Just a heads up, just in case you got a chance to see it. Now, let's take a look here also at what's going on in the heavens. We've got not only the lunar occultation of Mars happening right this moment, but we've also got Comet Atlas buzzing the sun. Now, I mentioned this before because this could put on a heck of a show. Los Angeles in the house. This is C24G3. As you can see right here on the screen, it's making its close approach. It's flaring up. Soho catches it, shows it right here, looking beautiful coming in. It's big. They're saying it's healthy and it's intact, meaning it could go all the way around, come out on the far side of the sun. And if it does, it's going to be like super bright. It could potentially get like as bright as the moon in the sky when this happens. You can see it right now, and you don't see this often. This is the comet at 11 a.m. this morning, 5 degrees from the sun. And this is from Payson, Arizona. So that's right here in the United States. You can see this thing in the sky. I'm not so sure about the next 24 hours or so. You might get blinded out by the sun. But as it emerges on the other side, it should be even brighter. So we'll keep tabs on it. And I'll say this, if it was to break apart at this point as well, it would just put on a fabulous, crazy looking show in the heavens. If it did at this point, because it made it past perihelion. But it looks to be healthy. it looks to keep on trucking. Keep an eye on it. But yeah, man, eyes to the skies tonight if you're outside and if you got clear skies. Now, I want to throw a heads up out there. Oh, let me give a shout out here to Lakeville. I want to thank you for dropping all the memberships, as well as the Silver Sailor. Thank you for dropping all those memberships over there. It's appreciated to the fullest, guys. I don't know what the weather's like around your neck of the woods, but I make mention of it when it gets dangerous. And we've got more air coming in. It's going to be like Arctic, super chilly type of air. That's going to be super dangerous, depending on where you're at. I'm still basically kind of froze in. I'm hoping that this week, from that ice storm that we got like last week, yeah, it was crippling. Because it was snow, then ice, then snow again, and then more snow. And yeah, still waiting for all that to melt off. And we've got another round coming in. So this is going to get super cold, man. I think I seen one day it was only going to be like 9. It was going to hit like 9 degrees around here. I'm like, what? All right. We've got a situation going on in Pennsylvania. And this is the town that is swamped by all the Haitian migrants. All of a sudden, they're saying they're monitoring a situation of tuberculosis. So they're saying health officials on high alert. It's been reported in this Charleroi, is that how you say it, town. It was mentioned a long time ago, the whole Trump thing. Trump had highlighted there was a 2,000% increase in Haitian migrants in this town in just a few short years. It's true. This has been going on in a lot of places. This one in particular under the spotlight, and all of a sudden we got something breaking loose. Tuberculosis. They're saying a student who attended school was diagnosed with tuberculosis a couple weeks ago. So I don't know what this means. If we see something spread from it and all this stuff, but just a heads up, you never know what card they're going to play, what they're going to do. Of course, bird flu is just sitting there, ready to go to another level at any moment. Remember, California launched a state of emergency over it. When no one even died in their state, nothing, but this is Gavin Newsom's California. The control of it there, man, people need to take it back there as well as other places. But what we're seeing here is a report that this H5N1 was detected at this commercial broiler chicken operation. And this is in Maryland, Caroline County, the Eastern Shore, just south of Washington, D.C. This isn't good. This is what they call the Delmarva poultry industry, one of the largest chicken operations in the United States, a multi-billion-dollar chicken industry. And it covers different broilers from Maryland to Virginia to Delaware. You'd be crazy to think that this isn't going to affect the price of chicken and everything else. I mean, everything's been going through the roof. At this rate, it looks like this stuff's popping up in multiple states now. Confirmations. Again, this time this is in a chicken operation facility. So this could affect a lot of stuff, and they're putting out these rules to protect your flocks and all this stuff. Restrict outside access to your farm. They're trying to have you keep these animals all caged up, penned up, and all this other stuff. Um, if they catch you with them, they can show up on your property like knock knock. Your chicken's got bird flu. You got to kill them. I'm telling you, this is a tactic. We're in a war, man. We'll see how quickly things change here when Trump and, his MAGA and this Maha RFK get in there and all this crap. As soon as they're in there, let's see if this stuff goes away or if it just keeps popping up, getting pushed. Be interesting to see where this is going to go. I feel on Trump's watch, bird flu is going to escalate. It's going to be a bad one, man. I don't think that this next time around is going to be anything like COVID at all. I think COVID was a beta, and the next one's the real deal. They've telegraphed it. They've got to tell us. They did. Bill Gates did it multiple times. I say it all the time. 2025 is when they said. Here we are. We're in 2025. So anything can happen at any time. These, as I see it, evil people that talk about depopulation and all this other stuff openly have basically predicted the next big event is going to happen this year, and they did it 5 years ago. Jay and Joe Show official. Much love. Thank you for that super chat and that comment. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of stuff in the skies too, man. I got some stuff to show tonight. There's always something fresh anymore daily. Years ago, I've seen a lot of stuff out here, but there was waves of the CGI stuff and this and that. But there's very real orbs and UFOs, UAPs, craft flying around, technologies flying around. And there's more and more and more of it. We're going to look at some of that here in a bit too. So Texas. If you guys got Allstate, you might want to listen to this one because Texas sues Allstate for secretly tracking their drivers through the app and then using that data to raise their rates. So they were illegally doing this, illegally tracking the drivers through the cell phone app without their consent and then using that data to charge for more car insurance. So this is crazy. You see, the problem with this is they can quite easily, through the app, track right where you're at. Any app out there can do it. They know where you're at, and they know, like, how fast you're going, how fast you're moving, what direction. They know all these things of exactly where you're at. And say you're on the highway doing like 90 something, in an area where it's like only 70, they're going to be seeing that. And I don't trust none of this technology, none of this. This story right here shows you that your own insurance company is secretly stalking you, tracking you. Then using all that against you. So, for the people that pass on the cheaper insurance because they don't want to put certain devices in their car that does do this, that tracks them openly, and make sure that they do the speed limit and they're good little drivers and all that, and they get a discount. Well, everybody better be getting a discount at this point because they're doing it anyway. So Texas, suing them. And if you don't live in Texas, I don't know what to tell you. Maybe call your representatives. Say, hey, look at what's going on here. This happened to me. I count, don't I? Let's get our state on board. and then maybe you'll get somewhere. I think that they win it, and there's something to be had there for the people that have been tracked. Anyone that's going through Allstate. Through Allstate. Yeah. All right. Here's some big news that's rather breaking here this evening, but it's still kind of dicey. All these posts and the information going out that Elon Musk is considering buying TikTok. China reportedly considers selling TikTok to Elon, but when you even look into the information, it's sketch because it says that Chinese government officials have reportedly discussed a scenario where ByteDance sells TikTok's United States arm to Elon Musk should the Supreme Court uphold the law banning the app on January 19th, right before inauguration. So, Bloomberg reports that China would strongly prefer for TikTok to stay under ByteDance's ownership, but says that the government officials have considered a sale to Musk as part of a broader plan to work with the incoming Trump administration. In that scenario, Musk's X would acquire TikTok US, effectively absorbing the vertical video platform's 170 million American users and billions in potential ad revenue. A TikTok spokesperson called the report pure fiction. So it's like, what is it here then? Like, look, I'm not on TikTok. I mean, you'll find me over there. Plenty of people rip off my stuff and play me and all types of stuff over there. I get it all day long, all day long. I've got a couple accounts I claimed just to claim the names. I think the Tapu 7, I forgot the login. I can't get into it, but I made another one, Surviving in Times, the backup channel name. I don't use it either because I just don't want. I've already got my own government tracking me. It's bad enough. Like, I don't need the Chinese doing it. You feel me? There's like a line in the sand. You got to make a stand. Don't just jump on the train. People are like lemmings, the sheep. They'll be led off to anywhere. Or whatever the new popular thing is, a cool thing is. But you got to know what's a trap. And this and that. Like again, one thing for my own government to be tracking me, but to let the CCP have dibs on me, be tracking me just through that app simply. And knowing they got about 1 million up in this country, Trojan horse, hiding somewhere, like in the bushes, for real. Thank you, Jay and Joe, again. And thank you for the super chat and the comment there. Yeah, but I don't know. I suppose if Elon does buy it and it's under his control, I don't even trust X. I don't trust none of it. I trust none of it. None of them. Yeah, the censorship is just, it's ridiculous, man. I've lived in a bubble for years and years and years. It won't stop. It's a big game and a big trap. When you're the real deal out here, they put you in a bubble and they put a lid on you. And they'll let a little ecosystem exist around you, but they won't allow for anyone else out there to like realize you're there. You know how many people I have show up all the time and say, oh my God, I haven't seen you in years. And this and that. Like, I was subscribed, but I'm unsubscribed. I just had Daz, of all people, send me a clip the other day. Like, dude, I've been following you for over 10 years. And it unfollowed you. Like, how is that possible? Like, he took the screenshot and sent it. And I'm like, dude, bro, I get this all the time. You just don't seem to understand. I say it. The censorship is on a whole different level with someone like me. It has been for a long time. That's why I thank all of you that share the stream, because you literally get it out there into a feed, an area that I'll never reach, could never reach, because they surely won't promote me. They rarely send out notifications for anything that I put out. It's just, Even people on X, they say the same thing. Like, oh my gosh, I haven't seen a post from you in forever. I'm like, this gets ridiculous from someone that sit here and the whole point is they want to break you down. Not me. But they want to break you down. They want to break down your will. They want to discourage you. They want to do all these other things mentally. It's a psyop in itself. And I see it for what it is, so it doesn't work. So, I see it. God gives me the eyes to see everything they're doing, everything that's going on. But all I can do since I'm breathing is just continue to fight. So, TikTok. He buys it. Could I utilize TikTok? I don't know. Still marinating on that one. I don't know, just because he buys it. I mean, look at the whole everything that's been made. Like you were saying, what you got to download from the App Store already for TikTok, what's embedded in everyone's device. That's all Chinese. It's already in the phones. It's already done. Damage done. Done. This little man handed off big shilly Elon. I call him out on his own platform. Of course, I'll never get a response. And I say straight up stuff. I ask him straight up stuff. Honest stuff. Like, look at my analytics. They're flatlined. How's that? I take screenshots of the new followers every day. And how can I have a flat line? Like, you got to have like one or two coming and going. And this and that. No. They'll flatline me. And just leave me there. Like, to die in the dungeon. And that's how it really is with someone like me. So and then the shills, their buddies that are in the club and that are paid part of the program, like Mario over there on X, Nawful, is people like that. They're the paid little shills. They'll go viral every little post. Everyone on X can see it. But you got to search for someone like me and then probably refollow me. And that's just the truth of it. So, what does TikTok offer? Not much. I think the trap's done been set. And I told you, man, they're all in everything. They're in everything. It's the biggest red alert, really, in terms of infiltration of another country into ours is China, without a doubt. It's red alert, man. Like, they're in here, man. And they're in everything. So, I'm going to jump into the fires now. Go ahead and dive into some of this critical info. I'm going to play this clip here. And, I've got a lot of different stuff here to go over in the show. A lot of it right off my other feed.
Well, this is some wild video. Check out this fire NATO. It was captured by Fox 11 LA in the Palisades fire. This was last night about 10:45 local time. This one's been all over social media. Unbelievable. Yeah, you get big pressure changes, big temperature changes, and you can see those. It's a real thing. There's actually been an EF3 fire NATO that happened in the past. I'm trying to remember which fire it was from. It was several years ago, but just the point is you can actually get these actual tornadoes that have fire in them that can get pretty strong. It's more like a dust devil than an actual tornado, which would come out of a supercell. But my goodness, you want to talk about a contrast in what we've seen across the country over the last couple of days. And you can see this time of year, December, January, you can get Santa Ana winds events that lead to fires. Of course, fires of this magnitude, it's historic, and it's something that all those people are never going to forget. I'm never going to forget covering it as far as my career goes, because this is it's just been incredibly wild and memorable.
Yeah, you don't soon forget something like this of this magnitude. This fire is just intensely crazy. I'm going to go through a couple of other clips here, and then I'm going to jump over to the X feed where I've got all types of stuff we're going to have to go over and check on. That's just all right. First off, the fire explodes, and we knew this was going to happen. There was more incoming winds, what they call the Santa Ana winds, up to 75-mile-an-hour winds coming through with gusts up to 100 in some areas. Sometimes when you get the fire billowing, it starts to suck in. It's breathing. It needs that oxygen. It starts to intensify everything. It's crazy. It can make it kick up, and the sun also intensifies it. The sun can re-spark a wildfire that's already been out, if you didn't know. And also the sun drives wind. Okay, it always drives wind, so it'll always be windier for the most part. Unless there's a direct line of storms coming through, it'll always be windier during the day because the sun drives all that with its energy. So Brentwood in the crosshairs, as I had tweeted out and was warning. You have Sherman Oaks. Is that it? Sherman Oaks? Bel Air. All these places. Brentwood. The fire creeping up on. So all these expensive homes. In another neighborhood about to get hit. And you can see this one. I'm not sure. This was earlier today. I don't know how close this got, if it hit this neighborhood or not at this point.
Into Good Morning America because of this. I'm Mark Cotterobles alongside Irene Cruz. The Palisades fire, one of the most destructive wildfires in California history, is continuing to spread now, as you see right here, moving towards Brentwood. It is currently more than 21,000 acres and growing. So, of course, this is a live look from Air 7. On board, we have Air 7 photographer Marcel Melanson joining us. And Marcel, you are typically in the helicopter with our Scott Reif Monday through Friday. If you can, from your assessment, how serious is this situation?
Good morning, Mark. Good morning, everyone. This is extremely serious. Last night, we saw this fire push north, and a lot of people in the Encino area were worried, and they were forced to evacuate, and they actually were set in a mood to get ready to go. Now we've seen a change in this fire where now it's directing south in Mandeville Canyon and now threatening the community of Brentwood. You can see how dangerously close these flames are to Brentwood now. And actually, the fire department are set up in these neighborhoods to do structure protection. So they knew it was coming. There was mandatory evacuations in this area. We just hope everybody heeded those evacuation warnings. And one thing I could say is, compared to Tuesday, what we're seeing today is a lot different situation because we're luckily not fueled by 80 to 100 mile per hour winds. The light winds are going to help the fire department get in front of this and hopefully save all these homes.
Hello, I'm Mark Brown. Get more great ABC7 content.
All right, so you heard right there, they think that they were going to be able to save it. Well, look at this. This says it reaches Brentwood where Kamala Harris, LeBron James, Arnold Schwarzenegger all live. And there's all kinds of theories out there and talk and speculation as to what's really going on. Well, I'll tell you this. A lot can happen with this attack. So it can be very, very, very multifaceted. You heard of the saying, hitting two birds with one stone. Imagine accomplishing many different feats and doing many different things with the same weaponry. Okay? This is exactly what has happened. So you could be eliminating evidence potentially. You could be just flat out attacking and running people out of areas, trying to reclaim the land of certain areas. It's very interesting that some people's houses, like Tom Hanks, have every single thing around them burned down, but you've got like nothing touched on his property. Then we have the talk of the flights going over some of the richer areas with the aircraft, as you just seen there, the helicopters and the larger planes and stuff like that. They can dump water and different stuff on the fire to stop it. But it was skipping over the other neighborhoods, like the middle class neighborhoods. But I'm gonna say this: it doesn't look like they made it out in terms of this. Let me play this.
Fortunately, we are watching a house burn down, and it never gets any easier, and our hearts go out to the folks who call that house home.
Absolutely. And, you know, none of us are taking this lightly, what it is to lose your home, because people aren't simply worried about their home. They're not worried about the most material things. They're worried about really important things. You know, of course, they're worried about, you know, their birth certificates, their documents.
I want you to notice something
of family
in the
members
shot.
who have passed away.
Pausing it. The house is on fire. Okay? Notice this. Notice this. Notice this is what we've been dealing with this whole time. Look, the whole structure in the house is absolutely on fire, up in a blaze. The whole house is. But look at the freaking trees around it. Are you kidding me? I don't care if there's a fire over here that you want to blame it on. The fire isn't here. You could see it in the video. I don't know if they're trying sleight of hand, illusionary crap here, whatever, but it's just not working. This is why, in the end, when you go back and you see a whole neighborhood burn out, and it's surrounded by just massive amounts of trees, none of which are burnt. How did the fire get there, and why did none of that get burnt? And, you know, all these questions. How does house after house after house burn down? And there's rows of trees still standing. Telephone poles still standing. Patches of pure green grass out in the front, man. We'll get to the X feed here in a second. We're going to see some crazy stuff. But look, sometimes you got to see the obvious that's hitting right underneath your nose. I'm sitting here looking at this house blazing down, and like none of the trees, none of the stuff around it is on fire, man.
They're worried about things that are irreplaceable,
yes,
that, you know, we don't even
it.
know about. And that is completely understandable. Everyone right now should be worried about their lives, because that is what authorities and officials are worried about right now. They want people to get to safety. It is not safe to be there if you are not part of any sort of, you know, emergency personnel. You need to get yourself to safety.
So they're evacuating everyone, and thank you again, Lakeville, for the membership. What's this? All people going off because Leonardo DiCaprio and his girlfriend, they're supposed to be these climate people, you know, all about climate, but they're the first ones to jump on their jet and spew all this carbon and leave everybody behind to escape it. But, yeah, he's catching a lot of flack for skipping off to the islands. And this man right here, he apparently made the call here to have everybody wait for up to 6 hours before they called in state emergency officials to evacuate neighborhoods and all this other stuff, and to make it an emergency. He basically postponed it. Marquise Johnson here, he's the LA City Council president. This goes right along with what the mayor did. Like all of them were doing something suspect in all this. Remember the other night, I said, as an investigator, when you look at this whole situation, you got too many red flags. Well, the mayor calling for $50 reduction, 3 days before this happens, it was crazy. On a day where they were calling for high winds. And then you have this here, issues like this. Then we have the reservoir that was empty. And then in the end, what does all this lead to? This leads to them all fear-mongering over the climate. That's what they're doing here. You got Senator Ed Markey here doing just that. Fear-mongering over what they're saying is a climate emergency. That's the problem. Okay? And here is Gruesome Newsom. What is he doing? The same thing. And he, in the way that he speaks, it's kind of similar to Kamala sometimes, and it's a word salad. But he says on the other side of this that they're going to go with this Marshall Plan to roll out, revitalizing these areas that have been hit and all this other stuff. And it's like, hold on. You see, we know that was the plan to begin with. That's where this whole Smart LA 2028 thing comes into play here. And I showed last time on the last stream the stuff connected to that. But we're going to dive in a little bit deeper here tonight into what that exactly means. I just mentioned right here the reservoir empty. I'd be looking around if I was a local town or city, and I'd be checking your reservoirs, man. If you're prone to wildfires or anything like that, I'd be staying on top of it. This stuff is a setup. It is a setup. What we got here with this one? Let me go ahead and just play this clip of the police talking about what all they're encountering out there. They made a few dozen arrests with looters. There are people going out here professionally robbing these places, hitting the mansions and all that. But some of these guys are dressing up like a fireman.
Overnight, we had several other arrests. It brings it up to a total of 34 in our geographic area. We have 30 in the Eaton fire area, and we have 4 in the Palisades area. Last night, specifically, again, for LA County Sheriff's jurisdiction, we arrested 4. 2 were for curfew violations. 2 were arrested for 1 drone incident. To my knowledge, we have now had 2 specific drone incidents that have resulted in 3 arrests. So as I talk to our community again, if you do not have business in the evacuation areas, do not go there. Please, you're infringing upon the work that our first responders need to attend to. And I do want to say, when I talk about these arrests, I want to clarify not all of them are for burglary or looting or for curfew violations. But it is very important when I say stay out, we are arresting people who are not supposed to be there, who do not live there, who are in possession of narcotics. We've arrested several with guns. And yeah, I'm going to tell you something. If our deputies being very proactive in these areas, stopping people in a constitutional manner as always, making sure that they're supposed to be there and you have narcotics on you and you have a gun on you, in police work, we call that a clue. Something's wrong there. So that's why we're arresting people.
And you have people, they had a man, I don't think I got the image here. He was dressed up in a yellow fire suit. And they took him in because he was trying to go around acting like he was a fireman at the houses. And I agree. It could be several things there. Thank you for that super chat. And thank you, William, for the coffees. I appreciate the support, guys. You can see there where those fires are. So what sparked them? Could have been several things. Evidence already shows us that we had crazies out there lighting stuff on fire all over the place on camera when we've got the evidence. So that's one quick, easy way. Just someone doing it because we've got proof of it. Okay? There's other ways too that you can hit things with any kind of device, as we've spoke about, to hit these places. And then the talk of the smart meters. And I sent out a message earlier, a post saying, look, if you think the smart meter's that big of a deal, because people were saying, look, they won't let me opt out. They won't let me opt out where I live. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, like, well, yeah, this is an issue. Like, people need to find another way. Like, they have to do something. Like, find a new place to live or something, or go off grid. Or to an area that doesn't demand this. So I have people saying that they pay extra money. I think it was up to $17. Somebody said every month or every bill just to keep the old meters. So that's what they're doing to everybody. They're just taxing them more and more. The people that are using the old meters still. But some people don't want them smart meters because of the frequencies that they give off. Everything that can be done. You can go look up the video. Right now, you could do a search. Just type in smart meter burning on a house. And you can see the video of them going up and burning places down. It's a real thing. It's not a conspiracy. It's proven. It can happen. And with these things, you're seeing something that you were not seeing with the traditional meter on someone's home. It's an upgrade in technology. And again, it gives off different frequencies. And then there's all these different health concerns in connection with that. The one thing that most of these homes do have in common, though, is that. And I do find it interesting that one of the houses that people went up to and they were asking the homeowner, this was a house that survived the fire, when every single thing around them was burned up in the blaze. They asked them if they had a smart meter, and they said no. And I thought that was very interesting. In terms of gathering information, these are details that we've got to pay attention to. Look at this. Steve Bannon talking with a guest here about the fires. And even these guys are saying it was so many coincidences. Is this intentional? And it's kind of like, okay, you see, there's too many things that are popping off here.
Tage, you've been in a lot of hot jams in the world. This thing in L.A., and I realize you've kind of moved out of the areas a lot of us have, but this is the collapse of complex systems. This is where you have no order, you have no hierarchy, you have no teams are not trained, and all the time you're training. So in situations like this, when it's so chaotic and things are happening, you just know the big muscles in a group, the reflex actions can pull it off like you train all the time in Navy SEALs. Obviously, that's not happening here. They've essentially surrendered to the elements, and it's going to have catastrophic outcome for the folks in Los Angeles. Tage, go.
Yeah, this hits home for me. You know, I grew up in Southern California. Actually, my grandparents and my mom had a house in Altadena, California. It burnt down on Thursday, so it definitely hits home. It's unexcusable. There's no water in the fire hydrants. They had a 117 million gallon reservoir in Pacific Palisades, and it was empty. It's crazy. Then the mayors in Africa, you know, $17 million budget cut. It's almost like you can't make this stuff up. Like, was it intentional? So, you know, it's like the Afghanistan pullout. Is so many bad things. It's so many coincidences. Is it intentional? You know, it's
No. This I'm saying we're not conspiracy theory guys. We keep saying we're not conspiracy theories, but there are no coincidences. This thing is so, the incompetence couldn't be that great that all this stuff, the fire hydrants hadn't been tested and were empty. It's just too much. The woman the other day sitting there, and she's an idiot. Oh, we had 1 million tanks, and she's giving this precise second that it ran out of water. Lady, that's not the question. We don't care that in 2:31 a.m. in the morning Pacific Standard Time it ran out of water. The question is, why were the tanks not being refilled as they were coming down with water? It's like it never dawned on her. This is my point. The people they appointed, the lack of experience. Go ahead, Tej.
Yeah, I saw also when Biden was in town, they grounded a lot of the firefighting aircraft, so they couldn't even fly and drop water on these fires because the president's in town and the airspace restrictions. It's too many coincidences. It's right before Trump takes office.
Did you just hear what he said? Because the president's in town, certain aircraft could not even fly. Are you kidding me? Because they wanted to bring the president in there. It stopped them from running certain routes and flights to fight the fire. Are you kidding me? Like, that is criminal. Like, all this. It's good to see guys like this figuring it out or starting to figure it all out. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, Bannon's trying to sit there and say, oh, we're not conspiracy theorists, but that's like anti-Semite. That's the tool they're going to use against you to try to quieten you or to use against you. You see what I'm saying? They're going to say, oh, you're a conspiracy theorist. That's just not working anymore because the track record of the conspiracy theorists are like 99 for 99. Bring on 100. It's becoming more obvious, these things. We talked about Paradise. We talked about Maui. What happened in North Texas. And all these things. And the different possibilities. But they all seem to keep having these same things in common. Whether it's the stuff that's blue, not burning up and being left with all the trees and everything else. And we're going to get to some images here in just a second. Let me, and look right here. This title right here says, California wildfires spark shocking conspiracy, claiming that the fires were intentionally set to pave the way for an AI-controlled smart LA 2028, just in time for the 2028 Olympics. Well, what is so shocking about that? You would think by the way that you're making it sound that, someone's out here making a claim, but like it's not true. Like in terms of like the whole smart LA thing. Let me just clear this up real quick. The whole smart LA 2028 is a very real plan. It's not hidden. It's in the open. It's official. It's their stuff. It's what they want to do. Okay? So it's out there. Smart LA 2028. There's files, documents on it, PDFs, everything else. It's a real plan. Okay, so there's no conspiracy there. Let's get that clear. It's a real plan. I guess the conspiracy is they're saying that someone lit a fire to try to run everyone out of this region. And that, by far, to me, is not that's not a conspiracy neither. It's highly probable at this point. As Bannon and his guests were just talking about, there's so much there. And there is. There's too much now. So now everyone is starting to see it. And I like that because that's when you actually get the momentum going back the other way to expose everything. If you can just get everyone to awaken to the deception at hand. When you've got this many things that you could drag into a courtroom to pin down on someone for what they've done here, all the red flags, everything that they've done. Yeah, it's not looking good. So, a smart city. What is a smart city? Well, this is a city that is going to have technology that tracks everyone, everywhere, primarily through your devices, but also through the cameras, the camera network throughout the city, overran or overseen by AI. And you're talking a city that, when the camera looks at you, it can tell your body temperature, your heart rate. It can do all these things. It's tracking everywhere that you're going, everything you're doing. Your phone's helping it. If you're having a conversation, it can actually tap into your phone, into your phone's microphone, all this stuff, and it can sit there and it can listen to every single thing that you're saying in the conversation, wherever you're at. It can do all these crazy things, but they're gonna have poles like beacons set up in town. These smart poles or beacons that tell you how clean the air is, the quality of it, all this other stuff. You're going to have the smart vehicles going back and forth. And this is what I foresee. Okay? And this ain't good. Because, at some point here in the future, someone like me is going to get cut off from the world. Yeah, there won't be no more of this. It'll be all reserved for the beast system. It's something I won't partake in. And it's going to be in a new world. And you can see it right in front of you. I've already said this before, but it's becoming clear. They have this utopian type of world where they want to roll out their new technology. And they're doing it right in front of your face with the drones. So it all ties into all the anti-gravitics and gravitic technology and propulsion. Man, I was telling you this a decade ago. We're there. We're here. And there's about to be some kind of big announcement that goes down, too, in the mix of all this. Remember, Greer just said it's this week. It's going to happen like within this week. This week. We've came all this way. Here we are in this window in time. Since 2030, they want to have a utopia. And you know it. They've talked about it in all their big events, all their big meetings. By 2030, that's been the agenda the whole time. They want all these things. Remember, before then, there has to be a reset. That reset has not happened yet. So it's coming. It's about to happen. I'm telling you. To do that, you've got to reset the economy and the flow of everything. And also, if you want to put in all this new stuff, what better way to wipe it out, to wreck it, burn most of it, all of it down, and claim it. The whole thing with the insurance, all these places that have gone up, this has wiped out an entire corridor that they want to run a railway system, a new rail system in. An entire corridor has been wiped out for them. And this extends outside of California, too. This is going to go all the way up the West Coast. But as far as California goes, and connecting all the California cities, this is how it'll be. So if they want these new things put up, you've got to clean the slate. And the slate's being cleaned right now with this fire. It's wiping everything out. What it's also doing is it's burning up evidence, some could say, when it comes to these old pedo networks out here. And people in Hollywood that they say there may be all kinds of stuff. And there are people connected to these rings that are getting all their stuff torched right now. And you can see it how you want. Is there evidence in there in the mix somewhere? I'm sure, yes, of all kinds of things. But again, this is a multifaceted event. talking about hitting a couple birds with one stone. You can do also many things, many things. And this is one of them. So now imagine 2030 gets here. You know what it's going to be like? It's going to be brand new, state-of-the-art buildings with even more tech that you haven't even heard of yet. They're going to be announcing this during the Trump administration. They're here soon, like all these announcements are going to come out. And this is going to change everything, okay? And I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to change the way that we travel everywhere, all over. It's going to be similar to the Jetsons, I always say, because that's what it's going to finally be. In terms of hopping into a little anti-gravitic craft that can just go on and float you off to another destination, that is what is about to be rolled out. This is some of the tech. They've already told you this. They've dropped breadcrumbs already and told you this is what's special about these new drones, these mystery drones. They can't catch, they can't do it. This is it. Greer said it. The soldier that just got his life taken, he hinted at all of it. Right there. It's the propulsion and the technology. They're about to drop a massive bombshell, and it's going to change the way that everything flows. By the time this world's built, I'm telling you, there's probably going to be, and this is going to be the key event, there's going to be something like the bird flu or the big event happen. Why does that have to happen? Because they have to have a reason to mark everyone. What did they say here recently? What did the lady say over and over again? We're going at the farmers with our new inoculation that we've been working on for years already. And we've already got it. They're going right at the farmers. As soon as this goes full scale, they're going to attack the farmers and say, you get this inoculation, or you can't grow and sell. Sound familiar? That's it. Same thing with anyone that's got them in the backyard. They're going to come knocking. You know, if you're trying to reproduce and sell anything, eggs or anything to anyone, who knows how far they'll push it. I would say it's as far as they can, because that's what they do. Let me put it like this. When people are actually stacking up dead all over the place, and again, people are like, you're looking out your window and your neighbors are wheeling a dead body down to the bottom and putting it in a pile, like, that's the real deal, and you ain't seen it yet. People will be shell-shocked. That's what's coming. That's what I spent all these years getting ready for. Well, everyone else just put it on the back burner. Our life's fun and dandy until, the morning you wake up and it all begins. It's already happened once. We went through a whole thing. And it is, you couple that with the crashing of the economy and all that, man, we're in for a wild ride. But ultimately, in the end, they want not just a smart LA. They want a smart Chicago, a smart Boston. They want all these major cities to be smart like this, integrated with this technology. And to me, if you want to participate in this world, they're going to dangle it out there like a carrot on the stick to say, if you want into this society, you've got to have an ID, a biometric real ID in the B system and be marked and all this other stuff to get in, to travel, to do anything and everything. It's everything we've ever warned of. It's right here in front of us. If you don't, you can't enter. You can't do nothing. You can't buy, sell, trade. Sound familiar again? You see, that's where it all ends for me. It's where something else begins. And all these people that talked all this crap all this time, even they said they were purebloods. The ultimate test is coming. When bodies are stacked up and you're forced at that point to inoculate or not, many will succumb. Say they had to. I felt I had to. There were soldiers there. They had got... Yeah, tell that to God then, I guess. You know the deal. I guess some of you thought that it would never start to materialize. Yeah. We're right there on the doorstep of that. Oh, man. That's what the sickest and worst visions have ever been of, is when that event happens. I hope it's postponed, because you do have a power. We have a power to postpone. We have a power to change things, stop things, counter things. We do. You have to speak it into existence. You have to select it, what you want. Then you have to project it. And then you have to go and collect it. And that's how this world works. No one ever told you. Actually, they did in your Bible. God said, and he said, let there be light. You speak everything into existence. Should have been taught this in kindergarten, all these basic tools and rules. They teach the elite and others this. They keep it hidden from the masses. You have tools at your disposal. You need to learn to start using them. Jesus said you will go on to do even greater things than I. And some of you need to step up and start doing it. Okay, so Newsom, again, announces this Marshall Plan to rebuild a new Los Angeles. So you can see what's been in the works the whole time. And there's DC checking in huge in chat, man. Thank you with that. Always coming in legendary. Appreciate it to the fullest, brother. DC, I hope all is good. So, this is a plan. LA 2.0 is what they're calling it. In it's like, dude, man, like, you guys are just in your face with it. Like, yeah, I'd say so. Smart LA, all this. And here you go. Look at this. Look at this plan. Look at this right here. Thousands of California homes are to be linked on this 550 megawatt virtual power plant. It will be North America's largest, all through smart everything, laid out, city to city. Okay? And someone hit me up tonight, man, was telling me about this information, and they used to work as a contractor, Silicon Valley, in this exact region. And that the government basically figured out that buildings, different shapes and sizes of different buildings, harvest different energy type of potential. Okay? That may be over the head of some people, but they've realized some crazy things scientifically, that certain buildings and structures, they emit, and there's advantages and disadvantages, I guess, in this field. They've discovered all these different things to it, and he was telling me about it. Even the project code names and all this other stuff, and I'm just like, wow. That's pretty crazy. But then you see all this, like, they're going to be tying everything in together. The vehicles, the rails, the buildings. 40 cities within the state of California are going to be tied in together. 40. Okay, into this network. Okay, and you know when this article was dropped? December 8th, 2020. So here we are, 5 years later. Well, 4 years later, whatnot, and look what's happening. Everything's falling into place for them, huh? Well, we gotta expose them at every turn here. All right, let's go to my feed here and check out some key stuff here real quick. volume there. All right, California. Boy, oh boy, this one. Well, you can see in the image right here that these fires, I cannot call them wildfires anymore because, I mean, once you establish that there's like criminal stuff going on and all this other stuff, it's like arson and all this other stuff. It's not just some natural wildfire or something, you know. And look, I don't believe in coincidences. And there's a huge portion of some of these areas here that match up on these maps, these corridors, where they want to run this brand new high-speed rail system. And that's exactly where it's getting burnt out. Again, they want to replace this with a whole new everything, a new rail system, a whole new everything. Like any buildings that went down or areas, like all of it's going to get replaced with new. Okay? It's pretty obvious all this is being implemented in that the weather, so to speak, the fire and the wind is what did the job. All you had to do is just get them lit. Now, remember what I said about being multifaceted. It seems to me that these large fires, because there's fires, we've seen it. You've seen whole forest on fire. We all have. The clip. But here's the strange thing. As I showed you earlier, the whole house was on fire right in front of our face. Right in front of our face. None of the greenery around it was on fire. None. Zero. Okay? How did it get on fire? I mean, we sat there watching it burn down in Brentwood. Okay? This matches what we're seeing in all the neighborhoods. The houses are just like internally combusting, catching on fire themselves and burning to a crisp like a cigarette ash. I mean, like leaving nothing left. Melting cars in the driveway. But none of the greenery around it is burnt. Like, come on, man. Something is happening. Like I said earlier, you got to see what's right in front of you. Yeah, you kind of can't unsee that image right there once you see it. 7 more days, Biden, off into the sunset. He should be going to jail for the rest of his days. So, just as Jane Ruby says here, wildfire my ass. Yeah. When you've got everything rust, look at that. Look at the green right there. The tree still standing, everything else. Some of these things stand out to people. Here's a quick one. A UFO passed a plane, broad daylight, whatever you want to call these things, right here. Los Angeles. Takes off, up, and out the side. Comes that close to the plane. These things are popping up everywhere. And look at that. That's like a 2-for-1. It's like 2 objects together, like with a space in between them. That's crazy looking. It's like something different. But there it is. Right past the plane. So, you see this right here? This is the tech I'm telling you that is about to be rolled out full scale. You wonder why Boeings are burning up and all. Dude, planes are about to be a thing of the past. You understand me? They're going to be actually an ancient thing of the past. Isn't that crazy? What's about to happen? But again, those that want to participate in that world, you already know. So let me keep on going here. All right, I'm going to give a couple different takes here. Eddie Griffin, old comedian, but he's being serious here, and just listen to some of the stuff he's saying.
Hello and welcome to another installment of NNN, where we give it to you straight, no chaser. Let's get right to it. LA is on fire. Now, a lot of people saying it's to cover up the pedophile trail, and all of a sudden the water ain't working, and hold on, 60% of the water rights is owned by this fucking couple. What's their name? Yeah, the wonderful, wonderful company is owned by this husband and wife team. They own Pistachio, they own Fiji water. I stopped drinking any of that around the motherfucking globe. Let them motherfuckers go broke. Feeding the pistachios and the almonds, all that goddamn water. Meanwhile, people's houses burning down, dying of thirst and shit. All these sons of bitches. And the regulators who allowed them motherfuckers to own 60% of the goddamn water. Fire them motherfuckers too, goddammit. What the fuck is y'all problem? That is public water. We built the dam that's holding that water and all that shit with taxpayers' dollars. How the fuck y'all gonna sign it over to this goddamn couple?
Sorry, I can't get over how much he cusses. But it kind of overrides his point. But yeah. Oh, here is a plane today that came in that crashed. New video showing a different angle that occurred. It comes in and it looks like it's gonna land, but this is my problem with having roads or anything at the end of a runway. Runways should have plenty of space just for emergency purposes. There should never be a freaking road or a brick wall or a fence or anything there. There should be open space for them in case of an emergency. Look at that. People died on the ground from that crash today. It said that all the people on the plane survived, but people on the ground were hurt and killed in that crash. That is crazy. Yeah, smart meters, smart cars, smartphones, smart homes, smart everything. That's where they're trying to take this. There's a bulletin that has been released. The feds are alerting that copycat ISIS-inspired vehicle attacks are going to happen more now. Man, you know I told you this. I've warned of this. I've warned of this very moment in so many different ways, in so many different aspects. It's all culminating and coming together and happening like all at the same time. It's begun. All those attacks that I told you were going to happen, terror attacks here and that, it's begun. And it's not going to stop now. It's going to go to a whole new level as soon as Trump gets in there. We're going to go into national emergency. I almost expect big attacks. Some huge is about to happen. Like huge. Thank you for the comment there, Jay and Joe, again. This is, I'm telling you, be vigilant, be smart. If you're out in crowded areas from here on out, no matter what, be smart, man. Thank you, Ricky. Man, I don't want to be anywhere out there near a Cybertruck after, this stuff. Like, I don't know. It's got its pluses and its minuses. Elon was tweeting out there and trying to tell everybody, he's like, the Cybertruck is like bulletproof, like all the way around. The windows are not, he said, but like the truck is what he was trying to say. That like, if someone starts shooting, like duck, and all this other crazy stuff, and I'm like, what? Like, yeah, is what it is. Like, I don't trust the Tesla when the enemy can just hack it and like drive you off a bridge. or like just drive you into the gas pumps, blow you up, or anything. I don't trust none of this stuff, this Tesla stuff. I just don't, man. Scary crap, if you ask me. It just is. I don't know where the next one's going to be, guys, but I can feel that something is about to happen. This is how it always goes. Again, they got to tell you these things, and they are. They're telegraphing it, putting the warning out there. They're trying to put, and R.I.P. Michael Hastings, and all the other soldiers that went down fighting this fight against the beast. It's this beast that's killed them, assassinated almost all of them. Yep. Here's the meter thing. And you can see where this is somebody different talking about if you don't want the smart meter and you want to go with the regular, you're going to have to pay more money. The other person was telling me $17 a month. Here they're paying $13. So you can see right here, Dr. Jane Ruby kicking out, swap out your smart electric house meter. It's easier than you think. It's a move you can make, and it's a healthier one, in my opinion. I mean, you've got a right to choose. In my opinion, it should not cost you more, but it's just, that's garbage on them. Charging people more money, but you got to do what you got to do here to stay healthier and to stay away from the frequency base and all that. Eliminate all this as even a factor. When you can erase this from even being potentially possible, from taking your home down. Yeah. No. I just don't trust it. Especially, these are all items specifically. They're manufactured and made and controlled by the government. All in all, in the end, I don't trust none of it. And it's strapped onto your home. Like, I don't know, man. How smart is it to have something on your home that someone else could push a button and take out? You can see right there, I pay $17 every month just to not have one. What the hell? Better show my whole feed or I'm going to have to... Oh, that was just one post. And thank you. Tacos checking in. Much love, my brother. Thank you for those coffees. And the support, man. Much love, my brother. You and the fam. Sonny. Everybody out there. Check this out. This guy's got a very valid point. There's no fires around where they're at right here. And I told you, the military's moved in, and this ain't good.
As you guys could see, everything is being blocked off. But what you guys could really see here is that we have the military, we got cops, we have FBI agents. What do you think is going on here? You tell me. They won't let us in our house. And man, this shit's getting fucking weird. Let's be honest. There's some different shit out here in Cali. As you guys could...
Yeah, so like the military's posted up there, clear skies, no fires around, and will not let people go into their homes.
See, everything is being blocked off. But what you guys could really see here is that we have the military, We got cops.
And the FBI all together. Like, what's really going on here, man? Like, they're stopping them from going into their homes. Now, listen to this clip. Listen to this clip. This guy, they call it a fraudulent slip or whatever all the time. This guy says it. He says, accidentally, he says, we started this fire.
First, before we embark upon what is going to be a journey to rebuild these communities back and rebuild them better than they were when we started this fire. So
He said it. It's just like the people that seen the depopulation comment. Like, people were coming over to my ex and they were like, well, the depopulation thing, they meant to depopulate the neighborhoods and like get the people out because, you know, you can populate it and depopulate it. And then we're talking about like killing them all and all this. It's like, dude, like, look, I know, duh. Look, we know this. But it's the verbiage and why you use it, which must be going over your head, which is done all the time, and it was done in that incident as well. And some people just don't get that. They don't understand the occult black magic aspect of all this. They have to tell you all these things. It's the rules of the game. Okay, look at this. Oh, actually, I'll touch on that here in a minute. Let me see here. I had a couple more. Well, you can see that cars are melted down through here. And all the greenery around it was still, look, all the bushes and all the greenery. Trees still standing and all that. Yeah, it's just not good, period. This is destruction. See if we got a couple other ones here. Oh, and I got this clip on Biden. I don't know if you've seen this. I'm just gonna play it. If you want to say he's trolling or mocking or this and that, or whatever. He said,
it looked to me as I travel when I was out with you in California.
He's trying to, and I don't even know if this is 100% real, to be honest with you. This clip, people that sent it, I mean, his mouth seems to be moving with it, but I haven't seen. It's hard for me to give any comments on it because I don't trust it. If I seen another source besides just on TikTok to where it came from, then I could say, okay, yeah, it's real. Then I could say more. But I'm gonna get to some of these other stories here. Thank you, Jeff, and thank you, Ava, for the coffees. Let me turn everything down. Back, all right. I appreciate the support, guys. What was that? Loyal Patriot, much like Cincinnati in the house, man. Where I grew up, man. It's where I grew up. That was Cincinnati was my city growing up. I grew up in northern Kentucky, but right across the river of Cincinnati. That was like the big city closest to me. So yeah, I know where you're at. Much love. I appreciate it to the fullest. I'm gonna keep it pushing and shoot to the next one and connecting to the drones. Germany is now authorizing the military to shoot them down, and this leads one to believe if this is the case, that they're a threat then, and they're finally making this call. We've kind of known this, but it was up in the air here, like as to exactly what was going on with the drones. What faction is it, Black Ops or this and that that's doing this? Others were saying that it was China, and they even said Iran in the beginning. But now the Germany is going to start shooting them down. Let's see if they get one. Let's all these things. And it's interesting that this is now being authorized. We are a week away, 7 days from Trump being president again. Trump said in video last stream, his exact words was, "Give me a day." Because he's got to do all the executive orders and do all the stuff on the first day. But he said basically the 21st, he's going to come out after his briefing and tell everybody everything about the drones that he knows. And we're going to see. We're going to see. We're going to see if this dude comes out lying, if he comes out telling the truth, and we're going to see what. We're going to see what is going down. We're going to do what we do. We're going to put discernment on it. They better hope they're not trying to pull a fast one, because we're going to catch them. To me, one of two things happen here. They try to blame it on the adversary, and they say that this China, Russia, tandem, the enemy. Or that it's a rogue Black Op group, similar to what Greer said, even though I don't trust Greer. He seems to have been selected, he even said so himself, to be the man for this job. This is going to bring with it maybe the biggest disclosure we've ever had. I think what may happen out of all this is they're gonna end up saying they're gonna end up trying to, however they're gonna present the fallen, the entities that are here that have been here. They're gonna say that there are different classifications of life, EBEs, with again from different places, Zeta Reticula, Pleiades. All these different joints, Orion. They're going to say all these things about these different characters, and we've already heard it. We've already known a lot of this. But they're going to come out and try to confirm it, and they're really going to put a classification on some things, on basically who they deem friendlies, good guys, and bad guys. And that's going to be very interesting to see who and what they say with that agenda. And I feel with it may come a threat. And this is a shifting thing. This is almost like an antichrist thing, an end time thing. This is where you get the whole world to bow down. Okay? And I'm serious. Because if they say that there's a threat to the whole world, it would be the one thing that would finally get almost every country to stop fighting. When our species, when they all start pushing the message that our species is under threat. We fight as all colors, races, and religions against an unknown adversary that is actually of a higher intelligence. That is going to be a crazy moment. And I think Ronald Reagan telegraphed it, the move. And it very well may be on the doorstep of happening. It's the one thing, even as it is prophesied, that they will turn their weapons into plowshares and destroy them under this false peace, so to speak, that's going to happen. And the eunuch is here. All these crazies that plan all these events, Their main man is alive, sitting right there, ready to go into the temple as soon as they start building it. But I think there's about to be huge events there. I think you're about to see huge things happen with Israel. We have been, but I think like ramped up. We'll see what happens here. Let's go to the next one because the whole drone thing ain't over. As I went live tonight on the side section on X, there was someone that had a big stream going about. There was one spotted over the White House. How can that be? How can there be one of these drones over the White House and they're just going to let it be? This is like optical crap. Like, get out of here. If you try to fly your drone out of there, it gets shot down, all this other stuff. How come this one gets past? It's almost seemed like this whole time, this whole thing has just been more of like a look at me type thing with the drones. Get your attention, look at me. And that's it. And to cause the hysteria, cause the hysteria and the mystery and all this stuff. Again, almost just like a look at me, like chase me. You can't catch me. You can't even see me on your heat, on your thermal. Like, I'm a brand new technology, Like, that's all it's been for. Check this out. Rep MTG. Her flight to DC gets rerouted because why? An unauthorized drone or UAP something here was going down over the White House. So you can see, how can this be? A week before inauguration. And you want to try to say that it's secure and clear and safe and yeah. Yeah, so here was the message. She dropped that I just flew in to DCA. Before landing, our pilot announced he had to fly in from another direction due to an unauthorized drone in activity over the White House. And this is crazy, man. It's not gone away. It's getting worse. And more brace. Again, and this is the most look at me type of moment that you can get above the White House. Where else is it going to go? Try to get attention. Over Trump Tower? It's like they already played that card with the whole Tesla thing. Like where? Like, all this is connected. It is now. It's obvious. It's all connected. Like a little puzzle out in the open. For the life of me, knowing how this government is, there's no way in hell that it's an adversary to them. Do you understand? I don't care if they come out and say it's China. They're in bed with China. It's the world stage. They sold us out. We're done in that aspect if that's the case. It's them. There's no other way. They can call it a rogue, black op, this concocted, whatever. There's no way. No way that a real threat at this level on them is just going unchecked. No way. Like, oh, we don't care. No, we don't care. It's exactly how they're looking at it, shrugging it off. Well, we don't care. The FBI declares there's no known threats for Trump's inauguration, which I find very peculiar. I don't trust them. I don't trust none of it. And there will be 25,000 law enforcement and military combined in D.C. for this event. You put 25,000 law enforcement, guys running around with guns and weapons. 25,000. that is a ton of people. That have packed most stadiums or arenas, little arenas and stuff like that. It's a lot. I've been to the inauguration. I've seen the security apparatus. There's only a few ways in. There's choke points. Same with getting out. And it's stringent. My bet is if anything happens, it's outside, it's in the streets, outside, surrounding the mall. I don't see how anyone gets anything inside. You can't. Unless they break the perimeter somehow. You're not getting anything out into the mall. And if you were to do something, you'd be going there to attack people or blow something up or something crazy. Hell, with these drones, a drone could just fly right down into anything. They seem to not care, remember. They're just like, oh, we don't care, it's there. So that's why I'm calling garbage on that. They wouldn't be putting their own lives at risk if that was the case. No way. They know full well what's going on here. So that's a lot. That's a lot of law enforcement if something does go down. Let's just say Trump gets in there, starts doing his thing. He's talking about Greenland, big time. And you've got to understand that this is a strategic importance in terms of where they're taking this. The Arctic is the next big frontier. If there's going to be a battle fought over an area on this planet, the most natural resource rich area is here. It's within this circle that you see right here. And Russia controls a vast majority of this whole ring right here. And especially where these routes go through. Now, Russia has a major advantage. They control huge fleets of icebreakers. The United States only had like a couple. Okay, so they had, well, I'd say 3 dozen, 4 dozen, somewhere around there. Icebreaker may even be more than that now. They had everything that you need to cut through this area, and they did it. And them and China are using these passages. And militarily, if you lock this down, some of these choke points, I mean, you control the whole area. No one can get through unless they cut their own path through the ice, their own new way. That's the importance up here of this. But Greenland, look at that. Look at Greenland. Look how massive it is. I'm telling you, years ago, there used to be a huge object. It was miles long and it was black. You could see it in all the satellite imagery for years and years and years. And then one day, it was gone. And it was like, what did they do? But, dude, I covered that thing so much. It was the anomaly on Greenland. It was the biggest anomaly you were going to find on it. It was nuts. And you could find it in different satellite feed and imagery from different satellites and stuff. So you knew that whatever it was that was there, it was there. And then all of a sudden, it wasn't no more. And it was like, dude, what were we seeing all those years? It almost looked like something that was protruding. It was something that was covered in snow. And like you could just like, whatever part of it was sticking out, whether it stuck out of the snow so high, the snow couldn't cover it, or whatever it was that was doing it. Greenland is mystical. It's ancient. I'm telling you, no one talks about it. And I'm telling you. This is a place that would be fun to explore. None. Forget about all the rest of the stuff, but um, yeah, interesting. And it looks like Trump's going to keep pushing for this. They did a poll. The poll shows that a majority of people in Greenland support becoming a part of the United States. So, I mean, if this was to happen, because Denmark's now saying that they are willing to let, this is huge, they're willing to let Greenland strike up its own independence. If Greenland does this, that opens the door for all this to happen. At the very least, some kind of big economic, military, and economic alliance. And it has to be done. That's why he's saying this, because if they don't do it, China's going to. That's the situation we're in. Like, you got to go up and start snatching up allies in areas in critical places, because if you don't, China and Russia are going to do it. They're about to take it. I'm telling you, man, like, this isn't good news in terms of World War and where we're sitting and all this stuff. They're making a move for Greenland. That's how desperate they are here for these resources. J.D. Vance speaks out about the protesters from J6, and he gives kind of a warning. And this guy was in my neck of the woods in Appalachian Mountain, Eastern Kentucky region today. I was almost wondering if I wasn't in the same region as they were passing through today and didn't even realize it. But this guy saying that some of the guys are going to get out and get pardons, but the other guys, anyone that has violence, I guess, connected to what they did, they're not getting out.
January 6th pardons, President Trump says there's a process. Where is the line drawn on who will and wouldn't be considered for a pardon?
I think it's very simple. Look, if you protested peacefully on January the 6th and you've had Merrick Garland's Department of Justice treat you like a gang member, you should be pardoned. If you committed violence on that day, obviously you shouldn't be pardoned. And there's a little bit of a gray area there, but we're very much committed to seeing the equal administration of law. And there are a lot of people, we think, in the wake of January the 6th who were prosecuted unfairly. We need to rectify that.
I don't know. I don't trust any politician. I really don't trust him. I don't. I won't. I never will. I really do not like. I see what they're trying to do, and they're trying to get all the Trumpers throughout these next years to attach to him, because it's going to pass the torch off to him. It's already known. The game plan's out there. This is their man for like the next 12 years. Like 4 years as vice, and then 8 years as president. That's the plan. Like, he's their man. The Lubovichers surrounded him. When I seen that picture, when I seen it with the video, and he's in there with all them and all their big black hats, like every one of them, he was the only one without one. You see who controls him. End of story. Okay? On Jesuit command. And Joe Biden apparently they're saying the biggest lie of his presidency. And I'm like, really? That's going to be hard to top. But they're saying it. The guy's just, he's cooked. Listen to this.
Look, let's get something in mind about the border. When I became president, the numbers came way down, number one. Number two, we had a circumstance where I pushed very hard for a bipartisan agreement to put more people on the border, more Secret Service agents. And guess what? He's on the phone saying, don't do it. Don't do it. Make me look bad.
Such a liar. He is. Who he's trying to fool. Yes. And thank you, Jeff. Yeah, 7 days and he's gone, right? 7 days. It's crazy to think he's still the sitting president. All right, remember what I told you about Trudeau? Trudeau's on his way out the door. Be careful what you wish for sometimes, right? Because the replacement could be worse. Sometimes it's hard to believe, right? But what do we have here? Look at this. And I'm not saying this guy is worse than Trudeau. I don't know much about him outside of this video clip, but I just want to show you this guy that steps up. He reminds me of Cenk Uygur. The way he talks, the way he sounds, maybe, and the way he speaks. I don't know what it is here. He reminds me of him, though. Yes, FJB all day. I'm going to play this clip so you guys can hear what this guy's got to say about defending Canada. This is the new character, okay? So that you know.
I have a message for Donald Trump. Our country's not for sale. Not now, not ever. I lived across this country, and I can tell you, Canadians are a proud people. We're proud of our country, and we're ready to fight like hell to defend it. Right now, with the forest fires ravaging homes, Canadian firefighters showed up. That's who we are. We show up and support our neighbors. But if Donald Trump if you think you can pick a fight with us, there'll be a price to pay. I've committed that if Donald Trump imposes tariffs on us, we should respond with retaliatory tariffs in kind. I think that anyone running as prime minister should do the same. Firefighters showed up. That's who we are. Homes. Canadian firefighters showed up. That's who.
What? Hold on. Canada is getting burned out too right now. We're not seeing it in the news or everything because we're seeing everything about California and our place is getting burned up. But so he just said it. Canada is getting burned up. All the wildfires. And for the firefighters that showed up, he just said it. Where are they burning up? What are the first thing it makes me think of is what are they attacking up there? You know, I need to. I seen a map before I went live. I didn't pull it up because I thought it would glitch everything out because it had so much going on with it. And it was showing all the flames, all the places on fire. I need to. I'm gonna look into that site and see if I can get it pulled up for the next stream. It was crazy. It was showing so many different places on fire. I mean, I don't know. When I hear things like that, they jump out. That jump out at me. Just makes me think. Oh, okay. So here is a crazy one. I warned you and I warned you about this woman. Tulsi, dressed in white, so they could fool you with her. Because that's all it was ever meant to be. She was on the Dem side, and they were like, well, that's not going to work. Like, you need to be liked by the right. You need to be liked by a majority of the masses out there that we're trying to fool. Because that's the right. The left is just the brown-nosers and cutthroats that bow down to the establishment, the yes men. The right is pretty much everyday people and everyone that's against that. Is how I see it. And she wasn't getting any love from anyone because there's no one over there on the left from the Dems. And she even said it herself. So she shifted over to the right and she loved it. She was liked all of a sudden. And she started to get that rock star status till we caught her on the World Economic Forum site. And they crapped themselves, and they went into damage control mode and took her off of there and said, oh, she wasn't supposed to be on there. And blah, blah, blah. Tried to cover the whole thing up as they always do because they hated that you know, she's busted. She's busted. And to me, I go off of what they say. That says a lot. When you sit there and you say something, and all right, I'm believing you, and then you flip flop on it real quick, that's like, oh my gosh, that my life could have been on the line there, and I could be dead now because you're flip flopped, or whatever the case may be. Well, she flip flopped on Joe Biden. She said she would never do this and that he was all about establishment. She was reading from the script, something she's not good at doing because you can tell she's doing it. She's always doing it. And she's like, he's towing the line, and I'm not going to toe the line. And all this other stuff. What does she do in the end? She supported Joe Biden, and she towed the line. After all that crap, when I saw that, I said, you know what? I'm done with you because you've exposed yourself, what you really are. So here's another perfect example, okay? Check this out. When it comes to her next position, she's supposed to be the nominee right now for the Director of National Intelligence, which is a huge role, right? She has to basically be verified by Congress, okay? Now, up until this point, she has said that she does not support FISA 702, and that is the warrantless searches of Americans' communications and their electronic metadata, that she did not support it. She didn't support it because it sounds good out, to the people, right? So, of course, she wants to be against it. She can't say she's for it. The people will be like, screw you, and this and that. So she's trying to win over the people, and that's all they've been trying to do with her this whole time. And I could see from a mile away. And now look where they're placing her. At the top, the Director of National Intelligence. Are you kidding me? Like, this whole thing is just a puppet show. Filling these seats with all these characters. Characters that people like. Can gravitate toward. That's what they're banking on here. But you ain't fooling me. Okay? So, apparently, this FISA process and the 702 aspect of it here, specific to American citizens and spying on them, this is the line in the sand for Senate. And the Select Intelligence Committee that approves her or disapproves her, they're basically saying that if you don't support this, you're not in. So, she's now for it. She's now for it. See how easy that is? She's a flip-flopper, bigger than fill in the blank. She's bad news. She's deception. She's a tool. She's one of them. I could see it in some of them. Just look at that look on her face and everything. I read people well, and like, she's one that I've always could tell that they were putting in front of me and everyone else to try to win you over with. And I'm not buying it. Never have. Not going to. I see right through it. And, oh, no. So now they're going to stick her in this high position. Trust none of it. We'll see what all of them do. RFK, her, all these all-stars. We'll see what they really do when they get in there. There may be too much chaos that's going on in the world that sparks here for anyone to pay attention to it, though. I wanted to point out, when it comes to migration, the biggest corridor on the planet is, thank you, Jeff, you got that right, the corridor between the United States and Mexico. By far. As people sleep on it like we ain't got a problem, who cares? It's someone else's, problem. Let them deal with it. Like, I ain't got to worry about it. All this crap. Nah. We've been getting ran up in, invaded bigger than any other place in the world. disgusting. It'll be what brings this place down. All the enemies are here. They don't have to jump out of planes. That's all theatrics. Like Red Dawn, if you're parachuting, they don't need to. They've walked right in. Americans too stupid to even realize it and see it. Yet we've told them this whole time. We even told them where they're likely hiding, especially the deadliest ones. The Chinese that have slipped in here, trained by the CCP, they're staying on property right next to our main bases, which is insane. Like, you don't think that the military doesn't know this? You just think that, like, we're out here talking about it and we're the only ones that can figure it out? That no one there has figured out or seen that map or brought it up to somebody? The fact that the Chinese own all this land right next door to them, up to the fence? Give me a break. They know. So now you got to ask yourself, why are they doing nothing and they know? It smells like a setup to me. Your everyday soldier and all that, is he going to know all that? And they're not going to stand for it. But it's the sellouts at top that have gotten us into this to begin with that would be our demise. They should be sending troops, like, out onto that property. Like, how are you going to have the enemy occupying land right next to your main bases in your own country? Like, this is the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. It's the biggest setup. It's like, it's already done. It's already done. You're sitting here waiting for them to jump out of planes and all this crap. Exact opposite's going to happen. And it's already happened. They're already here. Just wait till they start attacking. What do we have here? There was talk tonight of all the tunnels underneath LA. And rightfully so. And they're there. And they go back ancient. And it goes into many different towns and cities that have these systems. Ancient systems. Then you've got these other newer systems throughout the Hollywood Hills and underneath the houses of the rich from their mansions, all connecting these other places that have long been tied to smuggling people. Look at this. And shout outs to Uncommon down there in El Paso. He broke this. I seen it from him first. He was going nuts on it. Like, look, that's his town, El Paso. They have discovered this highly sophisticated smuggling tunnel, which has electricity, ventilation, all that. And it runs from Juarez to El Paso. And I'm telling you, this is just one leg of many. But it shows you how sophisticated this whole thing is, how large scale it is in terms of all these tunnels. U.S. soldiers talking about how bad they think this is about to be, because Trump is about to use the U.S. military and deploy them on U.S. soil, which is, people don't even understand how unprecedented this is, man. Like, the last time an American president deployed the U.S. military domestically was under the Insurrection Act, okay? And you know when that was? That was during the deadly L.A. riots of 1992. Yep. And at that point, the military didn't do much of nothing but, like, sit back and kind of guard things. They never fired a shot or anything like that. They just kind of did, you know, kind of guarded some areas. And it was all the police that did all the head cracking. They admit it. And that's how history shows us it went down. They didn't detain anyone, shoot anyone, anything like that. They were just doing other stuff. But they're back. The military is already being used. You can see in California, people can't get in their homes. And the fire's not even there. And people are flipping out like, what is going on? I told you. I warned you. soon as Homan and these strike teams go out acting like they're going after murderers, I feel it's all ploy. I feel it's all ploy. He done warned multiple times now, because I've seen him say it again, that there's going to be collateral arrests, which mean everyday people that are going to get caught up in this and getting arrested. This is going to be nasty, man. Here's one. Someone broke into a California base and stole all kinds of equipment, multiple Humvees, machine gun turrets or tripods, all kinds of medical equipment. They're saying that they found 2 of the Humvees, but all the other equipment and the armored Humvee, the main one, is still missing. Dude, that is the setup, if you've ever heard one, for an event that's about to happen of some sort. This dude is about to drive this into somewhere. Like, something is about to happen with it. You watch. Look at this. The Coast Guard opens fire because the migrants are getting so freaking brazen that they're just ramming the vessels right there off the coast of California. That brazen is coming in ramming the vessel. So now they're exchanging gunfire out there on the water. Dude, people that are sleeping on this, it's about to pop off major with our border, and it already is. It's already in motion. And that right there brings me to a close for tonight. I'm going to give some final thoughts here. Check out the chat. Man, it's going down. It's going down. We're a week away from inauguration. A lot of things popping off every single day. That's why I go live three days a week, man, to cover everything. I want to thank everyone out there that joins me for these streams. Everyone that hit that super chat, I appreciate it. DC, again, thank you, legendary. William, thank you for the coffees again. Tacos, Ava, thank you for the coffees. I almost said for tacos. And much love. I appreciate it. So, the 15th, Wednesday, I look to be back for the next one. Who knows what's going to happen between now and then. One of these days, any day now, there's going to be big stuff. So I'll be dropping videos right here. My biggest thing is like if they take down comms, if they take down communications, YouTubes or internets, phones, things like that, there's no more of this, at least for some time, especially while everything's down. Think about that. What are you going to do if comms are down? I said it one night. I told everybody what you should do is get with your friends and family and pick a place and just tell them tomorrow. To say, hey, if it was to happen that our phones quit working or anything crazy, if that day ever happens, you find yourself at a store, you find yourself wherever, and everyone's saying the same thing, you need to be one of the quickest to act. And you need to get to your location because it's begun. It's begun. And the confirmation will be when everyone else around you, wherever you're at, is saying it. For those that just blow it off and think, oh, their phone is like in a dead spot or something, and they shrug it off and they wait till later and they're doing stuff, and they're going to find out late and last. It's these people that are out somewhere and start hearing all kinds of other people talking, saying that the comms are down. They're the first ones that are going to see it and have a chance to get a jump on it. You won't make it out of places like LA. The traffic will be so jam-packed, like you've seen it in the movies. And I don't know where everyone's going. Hopefully, the whole idea has been like to have a place that you can survive the madness, the chaos. And I hope you guys have been planning and doing that. if we can get through this window, we'll reassess things. But much love. God bless, guys. Hopefully we don't see none of these terror attacks they're calling for. I pray to the Most High in heaven He protects all of you that call upon Him. And that the Lord returns with the sword, with judgment, like a thief in the night, anytime now. Much love, you guys. Be good. Be righteous. Be light.